Hey there, how you doing? This is Coach Carville Bailey, and we are live in the studio today. Live in the studio today, and welcome to Coach Carville Bailey's Lunch and Learn. On today, I'm asking some questions, right? I'm here to answer some questions, but I want to give a message to my athletes now that the school year is almost over. I got a message to my athletes. So y'all stay tuned. All right, share this. You don't want to miss it. All right, be right back.
Yo, just so you understand it, this is Coach Carville Bailey's program with the spirit of Bob Hambry. This is Blessed to Ball, helping athletes, and we represent. Study your craft, your mentality leads to excellence. It's all about your mindset. We'll never stop addressing this, so be positive and not a pessimist. Confidence took James Harden higher. If you really want it, it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna be hard as carbon fiber, but we got you. From counseling to workshops, we do it. You'll go farther with a scholarship. We'll help you get recruited. Yo, anyone can dribble and shoot, but it's the ones who study basketball internally that make it to Duke University. Knowledge goes around. The game is played from the neck up and not from the shoulders down. This is Blessed to Ball, helping you with obstacles. The athletes are the rocket. Blessed to Ball is the rocket fuel. If you hit a wall, we can help you slowly climb it. So keep a Mamba mentality like Kobe Bryant. Blessed to Ball. Cherish the opportunities that you have. Blessed to Ball. Use your mentality to master the craft. Blessed to Ball. Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Blessed to Ball. Cherish the opportunities that you have. Blessed to Ball. Use your mentality to master the craft. Blessed to Ball. Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Yo, Coach Carville Bailey. Hey, listen to your coach, man. He ain't no scrub off the street. That man got credentials, academic and street. Believe it, and my name is Strategic.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How you doing? This is Coach Carville Bailey. I am your host. Welcome to another episode of Coach Carville Bailey's Lunch and Learn. I was laughing with my Instagram family over here. I got my IG family over here. I got my Facebook, my YouTube family right here, and podcast land is back there. All right. So welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. So let me know what city and state you checking in from. Kelly, how you doing? Kelly, what city and state are you checking in from? So today, feel free, drop your questions. Drop your questions. I got a few minutes with y'all today. Drop your questions here for me. But a message to my athletes, to my parents, please make sure that your athletes watch this. Make sure you're taking notes. Share this with them and make sure that they watch this. To my coaches, make sure that your athletes watch this episode. All right. Cincinnati, Ohio. Welcome, Kelly. Welcome. Welcome. So to my athletes, it's the fourth quarter all around the country, unless schools go all year round. Still is pretty much the fourth quarter. School is about to get out. Um, Here's a few things that I would always tell my athletes in the springtime. It's easy to be a good student in the fall because the fall semester is shorter. Most times you have September, October, November, and then part of December, like 3.5 months. And then you go to the long haul, January, February, March, April, May, 5 months, and maybe into June. So it goes like 3.5 to 5.5, almost 6. So the spring semester is almost double. And so I want to share this, right? And please make sure that you share this with your athletes. Allow them and get them to understand the importance of finishing the school year. Coaches have harder times in the spring than in the fall with their basketball players, particularly because they don't have anything to hold over their head, so to speak. However, when athletes understand that they have to put in the work on the front end, because now on the back end, they're going to want to kind of benefit from the back end. And here's what I mean. It's about to start getting warm here in Chicago. It's probably warm in other places of the country. And so there are going to be days where athletes just don't want to go to class, especially in college level athletes. But there are some high school athletes that not going to want to go. There are some middle school athletes whose parents may not know, but they're going to ditch school also, right? Call and say, right, it was a running joke with my athletes. I say, don't call and say that you got a temperature. What's the temperature? Like 85 and sunny. You know what I'm saying? Like it's 85 and sunny. I ain't coming to school. It gets warm, so you have to stay disciplined. All right. So I'm gonna kind of go down the alphabet, give you DEFG. All right. So you have to stay disciplined and finish the school year and don't stop until the last day of school. Because if you aren't disciplined, if your athlete is not disciplined and don't finish the school year with the same emphasis and the same effort that they did when the school year first started, chances are they can hurt their eligibility for the fall. See, your fall eligibility is based on what you do in the spring. And so a lot of athletes, they just take time off. I even know of athletes, once the season started, they never return back to class. It's crazy. I've seen it happen on the high school level multiple times. Student never graduated. I've seen it happen on a college level multiple times. And these are athletes who had scholarship offers. They had scholarship offers. And when the season ended, they just stopped going to class. So you know what happened to that scholarship offer, right? It was null and void because the athlete didn't finish, so they didn't have the credits that they needed to be eligible in the fall because of what they did in the spring. Kelly says, and practices or open gym. Absolutely. Right? So they have to be disciplined and right. And to Kelly's point, but not just in the gymnasium, because in order to get to the gym, student athlete, student athlete, student athlete, if they aren't taking care of their business in the classroom, they're not going to even be eligible to play once they hit the court. So I need my athletes to stay disciplined so that they can remain eligible. Does that make sense? Right? If this is making sense, just drop a 1, right? If this is making sense, just drop a 1 in the chat. I just want to make sure that I'm not going over your head. But then here's what I want my athletes to do like this last month and a half. I want you to double down on your focus. Get your athletes to double down on their focus. Okay, Kelly said that, yes, it definitely makes sense. Get your athletes to double down on their focus. And here's what needs to happen. Here's how your athlete can maximize their focus coming to the end of the year, because they're going to have finals, right? Or they may have standardized tests, or they just have other tests, right? Like me. I didn't go in today, right? My son had an event at his school, but I still gave my students a test today that I wasn't in. But here's what I want your athlete, I want you to explain to your athletes. I want them to start chunking their schedule up, right? And this is a cheat code that I share with all my clients in our Who's Mastery program, as well as all my players have always known this as well, because I share with them. Schedule chunking. They should focus for 30 to 45 minutes hard on one particular subject, one particular thing. No phones, no distractions, nothing, for about 45 minutes. And then they need to take like a 15-minute break where they check their phone, they eat, they go outside, they do whatever they need to do for 15 minutes. And then they get back to work for another 45 minutes, focused on one particular thing that they're going to do. And now after they finish that 45 minutes, they take themselves another 15 or maybe now 30-minute break. but they have to chunk their schedule up so that it's not overwhelming all at one time. Does that make sense? Because a lot of times, right, at the end of the year, teachers are trying to finish books, and it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. And I'm dealing with it now. I'm like, we ain't gonna finish. And I'm not even worried about finishing, but they're looking to finish a book. And so they're just throwing tests, throwing tests, throwing tests. So athletes are gonna be overwhelmed. So they have to be able to chunk their schedule up so that they can be more effective and more efficient. And then the last thing, right, in terms of graduation or just completing, right, you have to get things done. On our pregame board before every college game, and thanks to one of my assistant coaches, Brian Lowe, right, we would always write down at the bottom of the board 3 words: get it done. No matter what you have to do, get it done. Your athletes need to make sure in the springtime they're carrying a higher GPA than they may carry in the fall, because it's going to be necessary and important for their recruitment. It's also going to be necessary and important for their eligibility, because they're looking at the end of the year. That's when you add the cumulative. So they need to finish as high as they can. So get your athletes to understand those 3 words: get it done. GID, get it done. No matter what they have to do, if they have to stay up late, if they have to wake up early, if they have to walk to school, Uber, ride a bike, whatever they need to do, if they need to go to extra tutoring sessions, they need to get it done. And now guess what? Just like with all of my lessons, all of my classes, everything I talk about from a basketball standpoint, it also applies to life. So everything that we just did dealing with life and academics, it also appeals and applies and is transferable to basketball. Meaning, athletes need to be disciplined, to Kelly's point, when they're in practices or an open gym, right? Or when they're working out, they have to be disciplined, because the summertime, the spring and the summer, is when players get better by leaps and bounds. I don't care if your athlete didn't make the team this year, if your athlete was a walk-on this year, if your athlete started, if they came off the bench. This is the time where they can and should improve tremendously. So they have to stay disciplined. And then the same way with eligibility, right? If they're eligible, now they can display the greatness that they've shown in the spring and the summer. And now is the time that they focus. When your athlete goes to the gym, don't just have them go to the gym. Have your athlete write out a plan and show you the plan of what they're going to do when they go to the gym. Don't stop just taking your athlete to the gym. Ask your athlete, what are they going to do at the gym? Even if they only have a plan that's going to last them 20 minutes, they should be intentional when they go in the gym. Even if they're going to their trainers, even if they're going to their AAU practices, what are you looking to accomplish today? When I'm dropping you off at this gym, what is it that you're looking to accomplish? That trainer shouldn't dictate what your athlete accomplishes that day. Your athlete should know. They should know without a shadow of a doubt what they're looking to improve upon that day. And they have to be intentional enough to work on those things. Otherwise, they're just going through the motions. And then you look up 2, 3, 4 years later, and you spent thousands and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and you're like, my child did not improve athletically or individually. So your athlete has to focus. What are they doing when they going in the gym tonight? When they go in the gym tonight, because I know you're going to take them to practice tonight. You're going to take them to their trainer, or you're just going to take them to the gym. What's their plan? Are they focused enough? Even if they say, I'm going to make 10 free throws tonight. I'm going to make 10 right-hand layups, 10 left-hand layups, 10 floaters, and 10 free throws. Did you accomplish that? Now whatever you do outside of that, that's dessert. Those are the spoils. But a lot of athletes don't know how to work out, so they don't know what to work on when they work out, and they're just going in the gym wasting a lot of time. And that inefficiency, that ineffectiveness, that carries over into their life. It's not the coach's fault. It's not the trainer's fault. They have to be taught. And once they're taught, then they'll know what they need to do, regardless to what anybody else is doing. And then lastly, right, getting it done when they're going in the gym. Rachel say she understands, just like Kelly. Now when they going in the gym, they have to get things done. It goes back to that focus. Steve, what's up, my brother? Right? They got to be focused and intentional, but now they got to get it done. So being disciplined to get better and to show their skills and being eligible enough to show their skills, right? And eligibility also comes down to this. A lot of parents have their athletes in environments that they're not eligible to be in. Just because a coach is saying, come play on them and we play on the circuit or we're playing here and there, your athlete may not be eligible to play in that particular group. See, when I came up in Chicago, if courts had two different courts, it was an A court and a B court. And you had to be eligible to play on the A court, or you stayed on the B court. And once you became eligible, because you put in enough time, you improved your game, you can compete over here on the A court, then you're eligible. A lot of your athletes aren't eligible to do certain things. And really because they aren't disciplined enough to work on those things. Does that make sense? Right? People want to shoot threes and they can't make 15 footers. They're not eligible to shoot threes yet until they get disciplined and work on their shot closely and then work their way back, right? And then be focused enough to go in the gym and continue to do that and finally get it done. So it works as a student, it works as an athlete. It's making sense. I just want to make sure it's making sense. Kelly says, struggling with my teammates, not showing up to games or practices. My son wants to quit because other kids not showing up. I said, no, we don't quit. Well, Kelly, I commend you for that. Absolutely, right? Don't quit. If you start, you have to finish it. But here's the thing. Now I'm taking it. So are you the athlete, Kelly, or are you the parent? Because I want to make sure that I answer this the right way. And I got time for a couple more questions if anybody else want to drop a couple more questions. So Kelly, are you the athlete or are you the parent? Okay, you're the parent. Okay, so your athlete's teammates are not showing up to games or practices. And so it's frustrating your son, and your son wants to quit because the other players aren't showing up. So now let me ask you a question, Kelly. Does your athlete, let me see how I want to phrase this. Does your athlete, are they on a team or in an environment where kids play on multiple teams? Where kids play on multiple teams? No. Okay. And here's why I'm asking you this, Kelly. Because Kelly, send me a private chat real quick. Just send me a message. If you can see where it says private chat. Well, no, you can't. You can't. Kelly, hold on. I'm about to do something that I've never done. here. But why not? Let's try it today. So Kelly, I'm going to send you a link. All right. I'm gonna send you a link. And if you want to come out, would you like to come out? What I mean by come out, Kelly, would you like to come on camera and we can kind of talk this out real quick? Just let me know. Okay. Yeah. So again, okay, cool. All right. Yeah. So I got a little time today, so I'm gonna just do this. And I don't normally do this, but I got a little time today. All right. So I just sent it to you, Kelly. Okay. So Kelly is saying that his son is in a really bad headspace right now because players are wanting to quit. Okay, so Andre says, wow, they are not eligible to shoot threes. They are not eligible because of their lack of work ethic put in to be on the A court. It's like everything goes and it frustrates serious kids that are putting in the work and getting better. Say it again for the people in the balcony. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, does that make sense, Andre? Like, if you don't practice it, why would a coach allow you to do it? And a lot of athletes do things that they don't intentionally work on. And so they're not working on them because of their work ethic. Does that make sense? Right? Because even if you didn't know how to do something, even if you just did something, a lot of athletes just don't do anything or they're doing the wrong things. Right? Like working on your step back is not going to improve your three-pointer. And so, in order to improve your three-pointer, you have to improve your mechanics, you have to improve your technique, right? You have to, all of those things. And once you do those things, then and focus on it and get intentional, then you can continue to work on it and bag up, bag up, bag up. Start in 8 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet, 14 feet, 16 feet, and then you bag up to the 3-point line. But those are days, right? And those days take time working on it over and over and over again. My son spoke about controlling his body language. Oh, that's the big one. That's the big one. Kelly, I sent you the link. I'm not sure if you can get it or not, but I sent you the link. So Robin says, a little goes a long way. Practicing your craft should never cease. You're always training and developing yourself to become better mentally and physically. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. And Robin is a not only a former student of mine, amazing educator herself, right? But like she trusts me enough with her son. If it was good enough for her, right, it's good enough for her son. Robin could actually play too, but she didn't. She understood the game much more, and so maybe people frustrated her, and so she was like, "No, y'all don't really understand it or understand the game." So, but yeah, no, you have to constantly be working, right? We're lifelong learners, and we have to constantly be learning. So, Kelly, if it's not going to, she say, shh. If it's not going to, if you aren't able to come up, let me just help you. Okay. So if your son is on a team and the players don't show up, it's frustrating him. It's showing in his body language, in his posture. Here's what I want for you to get your son to understand. Every day that he hits that gym, he's responsible for his improvement. If he plays on a team where there's 15 players, or if he plays on a team where there's 5, his number one focus is to improve and develop, as Robin said, each and every day. And now, if those players aren't showing up, I would have my son as opposed to you as the dad. You can have a conversation like, Coach, what's going on? What's happening with the people showing up? But I would probably have my son mention to the coach, Coach, like I want to play. It's a little frustrating when people don't show up. So if they're not showing up, then Kelly, I put it in your messenger. That's the only way that I can get it to you. I put it um in your Facebook Messenger. So check there. But now if your son understands, regardless how the team if the players are showing up or not, he's not going to always play with these players for the rest of his life. And so if he squanders the opportunity, and I'm using the word squander very politely and respectfully, but if he doesn't capitalize, that's a better word. If your son doesn't capitalize on the opportunity to be in front of a coach and to have time in the gym, because trust me, I'm here in Chicagoland, gyms are hard to come by. And I've heard all over the country they're hard to come by and they're very expensive. So if he's in an environment where he can get in a gym, then he should be working on developing himself. And now, if other players aren't coming, yes, it's frustrating because he wants to win. And in order to win, he has to be able to play. So it sounds like your son wants to win. And it sounds like that your son is also a competitor. And so with that competitor, he can also get rough on himself if things aren't going well. And so your son has to be able to control the environment. Does that make sense? And the way that he can control the environment is doing what I was talking about, right? Being disciplined enough to get in the gym and to have discernment, right? That's another D, to have discernment to know that he's using it for a whole different purpose because he's not just looking to get better for this year. He's looking to get better for next year, right? What grade is your son in, Kelly? Right? He's not looking better to get better this year. He's looking to get better this year, but he's looking for bigger and better things. Let's say if your son is a sophomore, he's thinking about now varsity. He's not thinking about sophomore level anymore, right? And also, you have to understand that um, how long, right? How long will you allow for him to play on a team that's ineffective, that's inconsistent, right? How long will you, right? What's keeping you there? What's keeping you there with that particular team with your son if it's not working out for your son? And I don't mean working out because your son is not playing, working out because people aren't committed. And if he's in an environment where he's not committed, then two things are going to happen. Well, three. He's going to get frustrated himself and stressed out, which what it seems like is happening. The lack of commitment is going to rub off on him, that energy, and he's going to lose interest. Or he's going to learn and understand what will help him for the rest of his life. That when he see losers, right, and people that have losing habits, to steer as far away from them. And he's going to work that much harder to put himself in a position in which he's not even eligible, right? Back to that word again, not even eligible to be in a room with those individuals. All right. Let me go back through some of these comments. Yes, sir, coach. Once the jump ball starts, it's like you are serious and they don't mind being undisciplined and trying to execute moves, they are able to do. It's like they're trying 2K moves. Absolutely. It's horrible. It's a big difference between AAU and summer basketball activity play. It's levels. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is 100% correct. That is 100% correct. That's 100% correct. I think you got to connect your camera, Kelly. I think you have to connect your camera. May need to find a group of kids or a team that share the same passion for improving and winning. Rachel. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? it's only so long you can keep them around mediocrity before mediocrity rolls over to them. Miss Scott, is it hard to transfer in your senior year? You want me to tell you what you want to hear, or you want me to tell you what you need to hear? Because I'm gonna answer it, but do you want me to tell you what you like? Do you want me to tell you what you want to probably hear, or do you want me to tell you what you need to hear? Okay, what you need to hear. Okay. How long are you going to continue to put your son in a situation that's not beneficial for him? And you and I have been kind of at this thing for about a year and a half, 2 years. Um, and I understand situations, right? And it's not even about if it's a good time or not to work with me. And I can appreciate you not wanting to just move your son around because of adversity and allowing your son to be able to deal with adversity. And I appreciate that. However, with your situation, it's a little deeper than that, right? It's a little deeper than that, and it's played emotionally on your son, psychologically on your son, and it seems as though your son is committed, but your son has not been in the right hands, right? And so, um, how long, right? If you were taking your son to the doctor for his knee and they wanted to cut his arm off, you would probably complain and want to sue the doctors and the hospital for medical malpractice, right? But that's what a lot of coaches are doing. They're performing malpractice because they're doing things that are not in line with the actual what do they do? Diagnosis, right? The treatment isn't in line with the diagnosis. And so a lot of coaches, one, aren't even diagnosing athletes. And so when I talk about taking my athletic strength assessment, right? Um, I'm talking about doing a diagnostic, right? You take your car to the shop. I had to take my car in to get an emissions test. It was a diagnostic. It failed, right? It was a whole lot of codes came up, and even my mechanic was like, "I ain't never seen all these codes come up." And he said, "Here's what we're gonna do," and he held me by the hand, and he said, "We're going to reset it. We're gonna reset. Sometimes they need to unlearn stuff that they've learned. We're gonna reset it, and then we're gonna see which one pops up." So your son needs to be in a different environment to get a reset. And now let's see what habits that's not serving them any good pops back up that possibly this other coach is seeing that's led to the psychological and the mental detriment, right? And so then I went back to my mechanic and they said one code kept popping up and they fixed that one thing. And I saved myself thousands of dollars, right? And it's been fine after that. And I passed my emissions test and everything's been good. And I respect my mechanics and I've been with them for over 25 years because my grandmother was with them prior to me being with them. And I trust them. And they told me, they said, you go to somebody else, they gonna fix all these codes and charge you thousands of dollars. Malpractice. That's what a lot of coaches are doing. But parents are allowing for their athletes to be involved and put in situations in which people aren't even diagnosing them first. But you can't diagnose them until you ask questions to really find out what's going on. And that's what we do with our discovery calls. right? Get on the phone with us and let's see what's really going on. It's not that your athlete isn't playing, but why is your athlete not playing? Why do they think they're not playing? Why do you think they're not playing? How is this affecting them on the court, off the court? Now let's put a plan in place based on a diagnosis where the treatment is life-saving. But if you practice in medical, if it's medical malpractice, if it's basketball malpractice, not only is it not life-saving, but it's life-threatening. Does that make sense to everybody on here? Like type absolutely if what I'm saying makes sense about this malpractice that's going on. When I talk about this AAU culture and this club basketball culture, it's malpractice. It's malpractice. But for you, Miss Scott, how long are you going to allow for someone to just use your athlete as a trial species? And I'm saying that respectfully. Now, again, I've always said I ain't gonna sell you nothing, right? We've had conversations, and I know that in your heart of hearts, that he should have been with me, even if he's still with his high school coach, but he should have been with me to help him be aware of the positive things for himself, because in life we're gonna come up against buttholes. In life we're gonna come up against people that's gonna tell us things that because they're haters or they don't mean us no good or they don't know any better. We're gonna come up against those people, and we have to have the tools in place to be able to stand against those people, those individuals, right? I believe the good book call it, right, to stand against the wiles of the devil, the wiles of the enemy. The weeds and the roses, they grow up right next to one another. But your son dealing with a knee injury is now snowballed into, again, and coming injury is mental, everybody. But I want your son to feel like he's good enough. Because even after his senior year, when it's all said and done, he needs to feel like he's good enough. So to answer your question, you can transfer senior year, but you got to weigh it, right? Coaches get transfers that's going to come in and make a difference, right? Is your son in the mental space to come in and make a difference? Or are we just trying to salvage the senior year and help him be as successful as possible? Or are we looking to do still looking to put him where he should be at the end of next year, where he probably would have been had he had two or three consecutive good years of proper coaching? So you can transfer him, but the transfer, right, will they accept him? Because if they don't accept him, and we talking about the other teammates, the coaches, right? And if he's kind of struggling with some things, right, he's already kind of dealing with that confidence. And so going somewhere else where it's new, that already deals with your confidence, because it don't feel right. It feels funny. You're in an awkward situation. So you don't want to put him in a situation to where now he's dealing with, okay, what if I get over here is new and it feels funny, it's uncomfortable. That's the word I want to use. It's uncomfortable, but also now we get, and I don't make the team, or I'm in a worse situation than what I was than when I left. The good thing about being a senior, some coaches are loyal to seniors. Some coaches are loyal to seniors. They will play seniors, and seniors don't deserve to play. But some coaches are loyal to seniors. So, again, and these are ways in which, like I can kind of further help you, like, understand the conversation to have with the coach or the coaches to just see what's what for your athlete. But, again, don't be the reason, right? I don't want for you to have regret later, like, man, I should have pulled him out 3 years ago. Or if I didn't keep him in here. See, it's not going to be regret on, like, man, I should have had him with Coach Bailey, right? Because you don't know how that'll be. Like, I believe that you, in your heart of hearts, you believe that you know how it'll be just from what we get on, what our interactions are on here for the last couple of years, and the things that you shared with your son, and the leaps and bounds that he's made by hearing some of these things. But what if he had it all the time, right, at his disposal to be able to have those things? Now he had that protection when those battles and challenges came up, right? But I would definitely say, that you need to figure out, right, do some pros and cons and understand that. But you can transfer senior year, but is it worth it? And are you transferring? Because I mean, even still, if it's that bad, he just don't have to play basketball. He can still go to the school and just not play basketball. But again, if you're stuck in that between the rock and that hard place, like that's where, y'all like need a coach. Like, in all honesty, y'all need a coach to be able to help y'all through all of this. All right, as well as being able to get that strength assessment so that he can understand the superpower that he has, that makes him unlike any other on and off the basketball court. All right. Let me check some of these comments. Y'all was going in. With my son, I'm teaching him that it's not always about the win or the amount of points. The win is nice, but what's important is how you respond under pressure. Absolutely. What is it that he can do to fill the void and not be afraid of the challenge? Cadence of the team is important, as well as each player capitalizing on what they're good at. So, and I'm speaking right to you, Robin, just in terms of, so with King, like, so he's actually challenging himself every week, that he's with us, right? And so it's now about challenging himself when he's by himself or when he's in other environments, right? Having that discipline and that focus to say, this is what I'm gonna do. And we've talked, what I'm working on with King at this point is to really understand that, like, he's his biggest critic. And a lot of times, because he wants things to be perfect, a lot of times, he gets in his head. That on top of, he's very direct also. And a lot of times I think he stresses himself out, or based on not want to challenge himself, because he's kind of seen maybe him not handle his emotions well. And now that he's growing, he's trying not to go back there, right? So I'm working with him on, it's cool to show those emotions, but again, be aware of what you need to do to make that adjustment so that you don't have to face those emotions. Does that make sense, Rob? Chan say, yes, we have, right? Yeah, okay. Andre, yes, sir. That's what I did, coach, and took my boy to another level. Yep, and saved me a lot of wasted money. A lot of wasted money, man. I mean, I'm telling you. Okay, so y'all are understanding what I'm saying. Y'all are Vivlana. Did I say that right? Vivlana. Did I say that right? Hey, also, while I have y'all on here, right? If y'all not on my email list, right, then go check out. It's on the scroll. Go check out my free case study video that I did explaining the 3 secrets as a former head college coach. The 3 secrets that coaches really won't tell you about recruiting and getting more recruitment ready for your athletes. So y'all definitely go check that out. Get on our email list. Some diagnoses are so simple and all maintenance in the world. And to find out the car out of gas, some coaches don't recognize. Well, hey, that's a good one. That's a good one, Rachel. That's a good one, right? Like, and I had a teacher tell us one time, I was at a computer school, right? It was an A+ certification, and it's taking computers apart, putting them back together. And the thing that they told us, they said the first thing that you do when somebody call you for a diagnostic first thing that you do is check to see if it's plugged in. Like eliminate the like aha things first. So as you said, you're doing all that and you out of gas, right? And cars can fail emissions tests because the gas cap is not all the way tightened either. So that's good. Rachel and Viviana, where are you all from? Where are you all from? Rachel and Viviana, what city and state are you checking in from? I always like to see how far our reach is going. Where are you all checking in from, and how old is your athlete? How old is your athlete? We got the Harlem Globetrotter, the former Harlem Globetrotter Rocket. Cardi A. Pennington is joining us on Instagram. Right, look, right. I got my boy right here, right? I don't know if he can see it, right? I keep my boy right here at all times, the Harlem Globetrotter. 5'6", y'all, 5'6". I tell you, like, some of the things that we do with guards is amazing. All right, I got a time for like one more question. Is playing AAU or travel the only way to have your child be seen by colleges? Well, how old is your child, Kelly? How old is your son? We never talked about that. Rachel say that part. How old is your son? Yes, okay, thanks. You are welcome, Chandra. Cardi, what up, kid? This is very good advice and information, Ms. Bailey. Thank you. Thank you, Rachel. Is this your first time checking us out? Is this your first time on one of my lunch and learns? Yes, that's the Virgo in him. He strives for perfection. Absolutely. You already know, Rob. And that's what we're working on. That's exactly what we're working on. Oh, she said close enough. Is it Viviana? Love it. Yep. I'm way behind. Let me see. Okay, you're from Miami. Miami. I bet it's hot down there. Okay, 17 years old. So your son is a senior then, or about to be a senior? South Carolina, class of 2024. Rachel, South Carolina. That's Myrtle Beach down there, ain't it? Myrtle Beach. I got the warm weather states checking in today, y'all. I like it. He is only 10, but he has goals. Hey, listen, especially with his body language. Tell him to embrace being the only one that comes to practice, because he's displaying leadership skills that most people want, but they don't have. So tell him to embrace and be proud that he's different from everybody else. He's different. Michael Jordan was different. Kobe Bryant was different. LeBron James is different. Does that make sense? Right? Even at 10, get him to understand. First time on Lunch and Learn. Hey, welcome, Rachel. Welcome, right, from South Carolina. Make sure that you go check out my free case study video. Is scrolling on the bottom, BeTheRightRecruit.com. BeTheRightRecruit.com. Yeah, about to be a senior. Okay, about to be a senior. This, you're absolutely welcome, Kelly. This is, and as I said, the spring and the summer is when players supersede expectations and grow by leaps and bounds, right? Grow by leaps and bounds. Well, I was telling you, the Harlem Globetrotter, Cartier, 5'6", played with a fourth-string high school, came and played for me as a freshman. Nice year as a freshman. Wound up starting for me because I did a diagnostic and I knew, and I study people, right? So like our assessment, like I understood his strengths. We played to his strengths, and he improved, and he came back his the summer before his sophomore year, and he had some looks and some interest, and he just got better and better. And going into his sophomore year, like he was on everybody's scouting report and had a few offers. He didn't have a lot. He had a few offers. He chose the best one for him. Went to a school in North Dakota. It was the best fit for him. In North Dakota, wound up working for the G League at that time. It was actually the D League at that time before I went to the G League. And then from there, got a tryouts for Harlem Globetrotters and traveled the world for 4 years. Traveled the world as a Harlem Globetrotter, and he was the fourth-string high school point guard, right? So with the right diagnostic, the right plan, the right people in place to help your athletes, they can grow by leaps and bounds. And again, the ball has stopped bouncing for Cartier, right? He still has his Globetrotters jerseys, right? He's still involved in basketball, but he's now a successful professional just in a whole nother field, right? And so your athletes have to learn and build the tools that they need to improve their confidence, their skill development, their recruitment, and their exposure. And that's what we do, right? We help high school guards improve those tools to help their confidence, skill development, exposure, as well as their recruitment. All right. So go check that out. Reach out to us and get with us. If you're in the Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana, Milwaukee area, we got our summer camps about to take place. But listen. I am doing something special, and I'm not going to even call it special, but because I have a goal, I have a specific goal, and I want to help as many athletes as I can before the summer is over. And so I understand that, right? Because it's not it's not cheap to work with us, right? It's pretty expensive to work with us, but that's because we get the results that we need for our clients, right? If we doing this free, imagine what the paid stuff, what the investment, what you're gonna get for the investment. And so what I'm doing is normally our athletic assessments are $150, right? I am doing our athletic assessments until further notice for $97. It will take your athlete 15 minutes to complete this online survey. And every week we'll have a group Zoom to where we explain the results to everyone. So listen, you can and I don't know, I might wake up tomorrow and my mind may tell me they don't appreciate it. Put it back, right? Put it back to the 147. It ain't no FOMO, none of those things. But your athlete really needs a diagnostic. You can get a diagnostic from me and then be able to take this information to their coach or take this information right to those individuals that is working with your child, right? Robin said it's totally worth it. I suggest, right? Robin is saying her athlete took the assessment. I'm still waiting on Robin to take the assessment for herself because at that time we were doing a 2-for-1. The athlete get it and the parent get it. So that the parents can understand too what their superpowers are. And then as Robin is saying the things that she's working with her son on, now she's not as frustrated with her son because she understands some of the ways that her son prefers to interact, prefers to communicate, right? What some of his strengths is. And we know same thing that make us smile, make us cry, right? Our strengths, if we like overcompensate, becomes our limitations, becomes our weaknesses. We don't even like to use the word weaknesses because we know that word weak plays psychosomatically into individuals' heads, right? So if you want to get access to this assessment for your athlete, right? $97, reach out to me, right? Reach out to me. I will send you the link to go in, get the assessment. And again, each week we're having rolling group calls and where we break down the assessment. Yep. And it's broken down and explained so clearly, literally at a fourth grade level, right? The vocabulary, fourth to sixth grade level, so that other people can understand it. And for those people, right, I don't name drop, but this is the same assessment. If does anybody that's watching, does anybody know who Dr. Eric Thomas is? Does anybody know who E.T. the hip hop preacher is? Anybody that's listening? I'd be interested. I don't know how you don't know who E.T. the hip hop preacher is, but do anybody not know who E.T. like? Do you who knows who E.T. the hip hop preacher is? But he's the number one motivational speaker in the world. Okay, okay. So see, okay, so we have some work to do, right? So we have some work to do. Do yourself a favor. Rachel, do yourself a favor. Robin, do yourself a favor. Honestly. Go YouTube Dr. Eric Thomas. Yes. E.T., do you know him? Right? For the people that don't, go YouTube Dr. Eric Thomas. Go look up Dr. Eric Thomas. if you're not having your child watch me every morning, have your athlete watch Eric Thomas every morning. And so, but I'm saying Eric Thomas, right? I'm saying Eric Thomas because my company, Bless the Ball, right, consulting group, we are an affiliate with Eric Thomas, right, for 3 years now. So I've been certified, right, through his organization, through his company, his team. I'm a certified assessment facilitator, DISC assessment facilitator, right? Dr. Eric Thomas called it the flight assessment. If you know him, you hear him talk about it all the time. Game changer, life changer. If you haven't Googled him, please go YouTube him. Have your athletes watch him and then watch me, or watch me and then go watch him. All right. I got to get out of here, y'all. These lunch and learns are normally, because I'm normally at lunch, and normally, right, you go check some of my lunch and learns, the students are coming in. And it's interactive, but I'm at home today because I'm in the office because my son had something to go do. But I'm about to get out this blazer and shirt. I'm about to go cut my grass before I got to go get my kids. And so I stayed on here about 30, 45 minutes longer, but I appreciate all of you all. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. Make sure that you go to that link, right? BeTheRightRecruit.com, and definitely go and check out our free case study video at BeTheRightRecruit.com. All right. Listen, y'all have been enjoyable today. Normally on Fridays, I will come with some Q&A. You know, normally on these lunch and learns, we have a set topic and I kind of give y'all some game. Right. And if you use the game, then salute to you. If you don't use the game, then you know, it's on you. But yep, go check it out right there. BeTheRightRecruit.com. Yep, Rob, you are totally welcome. Miss Scott, you are welcome. Miss Scott, we got 4 weeks left. We meet on Monday evening. We got 4 weeks left. You know how to get in contact with me. And we on Mondays this time. The Fridays didn't work because your son was still playing, but we on Mondays. So if you want to, like, you know, and low entry, if you want to get in, right, now's a good time to start him where he needs to be. And then you'll be right in position for all our camps on in the summer. Rachel, you are welcome. You are definitely welcome. Yes, Monday evenings. We go 5:30 to 7:30. Monday evenings, 5:30 to 7:30. And in June, and Robin don't even know it yet, but in June, she hears it here first. In June, we will start our summer camps. We'll be doing summer camps June and July. And then in August, we'll start back with our fall cohort. So we did winter, we did spring, summer. We're doing camps that's going to be broken down on weeks, specializing in different things. But yet we got 4 more weeks on Monday evenings from 5:30 to 7:30. So reach out to me. All right, if you want in, you know how to get in contact with me. Let's make it happen. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. I got to go cut this grass. I'll holler at y'all a little bit later.
Yo, just so you understand it, this is Coach Carvel Bailey's program with the spirit of Bob Hambry. This is Bless the Ball, helping athletes, and we represent. Study your craft, your mentality leads to excellence. It's all about your mindset. We'll never stop addressing this, so be positive and not a pessimist. Confidence took James Harden higher. If you really want it, it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna be hard as carbon fiber, but we got you. From counseling to workshops, we do it. You'll go farther with a scholarship. We'll help you get recruited. Yo, anyone can dribble and shoot, but it's the ones who study basketball internally that make it to Duke University. Knowledge goes around. The game is played from the neck up and not from the shoulders down. This is Bless the Ball, helping you with obstacles. The athletes are the rocket. Bless the Ball is the rocket fuel. If you hit a wall, we can help you slowly climb it. So keep a Mamba mentality like Kobe Bryant.
Bless the ball.
Cherish the opportunities that you have.
Bless the ball.
Use your mentality to master the craft.
Bless the ball.
Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play.
Bless the ball.
Cherish the opportunities that you have.
Bless the ball.
Use your mentality to master the craft.
Bless the ball.
Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Yo, Coach Carvel Bailey. Hey, listen to your coach, man. He ain't no scrub off the street. That man got credentials, academic and street. Believe it, and my name is strategic.